Hello.
Hi,
Yeah, how are you doing today?
pretty good. You?
Yeah, everything's alright. Yeah, everything's good. Been recording one of the videos for Overwatch actually, so yeah,
Oh,
everything's
nice.
alright. I'm gonna be posting something on the next week probably. We'll see. Oh well. Anyway,
Cool.
what's the latest news in the game?
Uh, Not much. Been practicing, trying not to cruise control like we talked about, which is my little. This week has been a little bit funky. I've only been able to play like later at night, and it's been pretty rough to like keep my attention. Just a little more tired and not as locked in kind of thing. But uh, the games I do like in it, it quite a bit different. Quite nice. Just knowing what to be thinking about and how to pace myself with what I'm thinking about.
That's good. That's good. So, what have you been able to apply exactly so far?
Um, a lot of trying to pay attention to where the main threats are, especially like if I'm playing against uh, well, mostly DPS. I've been paying attention to, but you know if they're try to figure out where they are, especially if there's like flanking angles. I try to be aware of where they could be coming from if I don't see them in front of me. Try to keep track of if it's like a Reaper, keep track of his CDs kind of thing. Um, it just affects how to engage, what I feel comfortable with. If I need to the space I need, that kind of thing. Uh, yeah, timing, positions, holding my ground or leaving it. Um, yeah, but being able to try to think about less, more focusing on a couple threats, trying to focus in on that for one game, and then focusing on my position for the next, focusing on my timing for the next, looping that back around and doing it over and over.
That's good.
It's
That's
had some
Mhm.
benefits, yeah. And
Yeah.
I've been playing quite a bit more McCree again, just especially on shorter sight line maps, just trying to get used to him. But it's just something just feels a little bit funky. It's like I think the distance between his gun and the cursor or the crosshair is just a little bit different than soldiers, and I think like my brain is just putting it's putting the crosshair in the wrong spot, like especially when it gets a little bit hard to see. So there's something going on in my brain that doesn't want McCree right now, but
Hmm.
well, I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Interesting.
I
Interesting.
changed my crosshair because it was a dot, and I made it a bigger cross now, and it's more noticeable. So it
Yep.
should be helpful.
Yeah, maybe it's something to do with the visuals of the gun, how it looks like, because a
Yeah.
lot of the players, especially if you play something like Counter-Strike or PUBG, they so focused on the gun placement as well, because a lot of the times gun can maybe hit the wall, even though you see the target. So
Yeah.
maybe there is something to do about it, because for any character, the center is where the bullets are going anyway. This is how the game works. It's just kind of you
Mhm.
have to be focusing on that center. I wouldn't say you have to entirely focus on the crosshair. You mostly focus on the enemy, but the crosshair in the center of your screen should give you an idea of how you should be moving and what you
Mhm.
should be doing with your crosshair. But yeah,
Mhm.
I
I
think
do
it's.
think I here maybe I can just show you what I was talking about.
Yeah, of course.
I'll share my screen here because
Yeah, let's.
I think you're right. The it's I don't think it's different per se, but like if you look at where say the box or the line underneath my alt charge thing, right? If you can see, can you see?
Yeah, let's take a look. Just one moment. I
Okay,
will.
sorry.
Okay, yeah, it's looking good.
Okay, so so there's like the line, like the white line underneath the cross or underneath the alt charge, and then I swapped to McCree, and it's he must just be shorter.
Yeah,
So I
he's
don't know. I don't know
shorter.
if I've just like been playing Soldier so exclusively that like so I have been playing like a ton, and it's almost exclusively Soldier because he just doesn't get banned. But I think there must just be so many little habits that I have that like switching characters just feels uncomfortable. But it, yeah, I don't know. There's something in my brain,
Interesting.
like,
Yeah, I never
like
thought
I
of
think
that actually.
his
Okay.
gun, like even if you look at like where his gun is on that rack, it's like right on the rack, and then oops,
Yeah, yeah. If you go custody here.
his is like to the right. So I think like my brain is trying to line it up so that the gun is like here, but the crosshair needs to be over here, kind of thing. So it's like, especially when they get close or a little further away, like that's a bigger, it's quite a big difference. I know it sounds really minor and nitpicky, and I'm not very good, so it doesn't matter. But it's tricking my brain enough to feel weird playing McCree
That's okay. I
or
think
Cassidy, whatever.
once you gonna play more and more, you will get used to it.
Yeah,
Just kind of focus on the center of the screen, see
mm-hmm.
where
Yeah,
the cross is. Obviously, again, I'm saying mostly focus on the enemy, but the crosshair should give you an idea of
yeah.
how the bullet is gonna go. But yeah, I actually never thought about it. It kind of never felt that it's affecting me a lot, but yeah,
I think
I
it might
understand.
just have to do with like the exclusivity of like the one tricking that I've been doing. Finally trying to branch out, you just notice all the little stuff.
Yeah,
But
interesting, interesting. Oh well, anyway, that is
yeah.
something what we can make just try to play more and see how is it
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go.
I've been trying to play more, and yeah, it'll work out eventually. It just yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are there been any difficulties with the stuff we talked about with you, tracking the sweats, adjusting based of that, or yeah, how has that been going?
It's it's been going good, as far as I can tell. Yeah, I think the only problem that maybe I'm finding might be for starters, it tends to be that like I'm basically only tracking the DPS unless there's like a diva that I really need to worry about. So I don't know if that's ideal because there's 5 characters, not 2. And then I feel like that kind of makes me tunnel vision a little bit. Um, Other than that, maybe yeah, just the. I mean, we talked about playing at like the same time, like getting into more of a habit for uh, intentional practice. And as soon as we went over that, I kind of shifted my schedule a little bit. That hasn't been great, but that'll go away.
Hmm.
That'll get
That's
fixed. It's fine.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, whereas the characters, to be honest, they just a good start. Start be able to track 1 2 people, but then eventually you wanna get to the point where you're able to track most of the enemy characters and your
Mhm.
team as well. But this is just how you put it with by intentionally practicing. Yeah, just constantly keep adding the. Let's say you're comfortable tracking 2 characters, okay? Then add another one, and then another one, and eventually you will have that sort of mind map where everybody is. That's how I would call that. That's really important. But yeah, yeah. Okay. Are there been any other difficulties? Anything what stands out at the moment?
Mm, nothing, nothing that really stands out other than like no, just diva. Diva feels really hard to play against, but
Hmm.
honestly, even just switching to Sojourn seems to help a little bit. She just seems to be able, like, it doesn't seem to matter where I am. She seems to be able to get on top of me immediately, and I'll just die.
I
So
see.
switching to Sojourn tends to help quite a bit because if she gets on top of me, then I just slide away.
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, but this one definitely be careful and see if the map is still good for you. and the
Mhm.
composition is okay, I would still say probably play Soldier. For example, you on a Hollywood second point. Soldier is still gonna be okay, even though Diva is gonna be flying in. It's just their job to do so. They're not gonna
Yeah,
be maybe killing you, but it's just more they're keeping you busy. But at
yeah.
the same time,
It's
yep, yep.
sorry, sorry. I'm really bad at interrupting you. And
That's good. So
I found on push maps it's easier to play against the diva, and then on like King of the Hill type maps it's what are they called, control and flashpoint, is it, I think. That's where like I feel like diva has a little bit more wiggle room to go wherever, and that's where I find it harder. Like when I want to be flanking a lot on those types of maps,
yeah,
that's I find where diva gets harder to play against. Whereas like a push map where everything's more linear, it feels a little bit easier because she has less wiggle room to, just go wherever she wants. At
that
least that's
makes
how it
sense.
feels so far.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you want to, we can also go with that. See what we can do versus the Diva. Overall, fundamental, it will be around the same, but yeah, we can maybe dive into specifics
I,
a little bit more.
I don't know if I have a map on it. Um, I don't know. I've been playing a lot of support with friends because they're all silver and we can't get lobbies. Um,
That's all right. Yeah, so there are no game examples, you think, versus the Diva
not
yet?
of not of diva, no, but
Hmm.
maybe I could maybe find one. The
Yeah, of
annoying
course.
thing is just going through all the game reports to find out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, just in case, you can always use our doc. I send you to maybe save some game examples there too. If there's something
Mhm.
what sends out whenever, just post it there so it will not get overwritten by the new games. Should be alright.
No, this will take a while. Maybe I could find one for the offline VOD review. Might be easier.
That's okay
Save
too.
one the next time I find it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, that's okay too. Okay, let me just write it down for the next time. Maybe matchups, going over the Diva a little bit, how to play versus them, sure. And okay, then we have few options what I can focus on. It's been either one of the concepts, maybe we can go over those a little bit more. Can be tempo, lane control. I remember we focused on that too, but yeah, we can also focus on the other characters we never talked about, like Cass, Surgeon. Yeah, we mostly focused on the soldier, so that's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you want to do today?
Uh, I don't know. Whatever I seem really bad at. um, I have so I can show you. I can give you the replay for the last game I played, which was last night. I was pretty dialed in. It went into overtime. It was on Shambali. It might be a good one, just because if this was what I thought was really good at most of the things we've been talking about, then maybe you can point out what stands out as still not working. If that sounds good.
Yeah, that can be okay. That can be okay. Also, for the other characters, do you play those quite frequently at the moment?
Not let me see. Time played. Well, it looks like I'm soldier about 80% of the time, and then I'll flex off to Cassidy or sort of Bastion, a little bit of Widowmaker.
I see. I
But
see.
I still mostly soldier. He's just for me he's the funnest, and it takes yeah, I don't know. He seems to fit. He's just fun. I like to play him.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, just like we said before, keep in mind that maybe there will be situations when it's more comfortable for you to run certain character because of the map, because of the comp you're in. And
Mhm.
for example, you have brawl comp on short range map. Maybe Cassidy is just so much easier to play. Maybe there's gonna be map with the long sightlines, but no opportunities for you to flank. Then
Yeah.
Surgeon can be okay. Maybe also Widow, but yeah, I would not expand your character's pool to more than sweet characters. Sweet characters is enough. Maybe 2 is enough as well. But yeah, it's just something to think about too, just depending on the goals. But yeah, so far we've been playing Soldier a lot, and I would say that works. That is okay. Maybe you can
Yeah.
also talk about how to adjust the characters a little bit more. I don't think we talked about that as well too much. Well, I kind of said for some situations, kind of explain a little bit. But yeah, if you want me to elaborate on some scenarios, maybe you have any questions too, we can be going over those too.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So
No, not really. Not. Um, so when I used to play like a year ago, I was enjoying Sojourn. But now I feel like I'm really focused on the hit scan, like Cassidy and Soldier. I've been trying to play a little bit of Sojourn, and I don't know if it's just like the range or the projectile, but she doesn't feel as comfortable anymore. I don't know. So I didn't know if like maybe popping out Sojourn of my rotation and adding like Ash or Widow would make as much sense. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, well, I think we mostly you're thinking about it this way. You usually can have one shorter range character. For example,
Mhm.
Cassidy is a good fit. You can also have more of a longer range character and a character which fits in dive a little bit more. So Surgeon, they have a little bit of mobility, a little bit long range damage, so they can fit in poke and dive. The Soldier can fit in the any poke positions, any long range maps, but usually you have to really look into are you able to flank? Are you able to do continuous damage? If yes, then he's okay pick. And yeah, Cassidy, short range situations, like I said, that's how you're thinking about
Mhm.
it. In terms of are you comfortable in the character? Well, maybe that is something what we can solve in the sessions, or yeah, let's say if you don't enjoy playing the character, then sure we don't want to focus on that. But yeah, if you do, but it just feels not as comfortable, but that is something what we want to work on, we can definitely also add this character to. That's how I would put
Oh,
it.
okay.
All right, yeah. So let's start with this game first. Yeah, the one you sent me.
Okay.
Okay, and yeah, what do you think about this one? What do you feel like you struggle with, if there's anything?
And this one, it didn't really feel like I was struggling too much. Like I feel like I felt pretty on top of most things,
Mhm.
and yeah, I don't know. It seemed like a clean game, but it's still. I don't think I was like carrying it because it still went into overtime. But I don't know. Like I said, I thought I did a decent job at paying attention to most of the things we talked about, like
Mhm.
enemy threats, positions, my position, timing, things like that.
Yeah, let's take
Um,
a look at that then. Yeah, let's just see. Maybe there's gonna be something what sends out. But yeah, maybe for later, if you also have any games where there's been difficulty, like sort of matchup or something, let's go with that too. That's okay. Like I said, maybe for the offline point of view, dealing versus the
yeah,
diva can also be okay. But yeah, let's take a look.
okay.
Can you see the stream, by the way?
Yeah, yeah, we're good.
Okay, perfect. All right. I think this map is okay for the soldier. For the most part, you should be fine. Okay, starting with off angle here. By the way, something I talked about, and it's been in offline water view. Yeah, I think it's been offline water view.
Using the rocket.
Using your rocket and E. Yeah, how the practice on that went?
uh, so I feel like I have been trying not to spam the rocket the same way. Um, the E just seems harder. It's more just like a oh, I took damage. Here's the E kind of thing. It seems a little more um. I don't like even here. Did I use it?
Yeah,
I don't even know if
you're
I
gonna
used
be
it here.
using it here.
I think I was expecting the Genji to dive on me there.
Yeah.
And when he didn't, I just shot the rocket right away. But I didn't. I was trying to poke out right here, and I couldn't with those two there. I thought walking out that door would be dumb, so I went the other way. But um, yeah. With the Genji in the door, I thought he was just going to dash on me, so I put the healing pad down first. But which is something you said to do. I'm not
Yes.
sure if this was the exact scenario for it, but I was expecting the dash and it didn't come.
Yes, yes, but see, the big thing is it's good to expect them to dash, but you always want for the aggression to happen first. Really, really
Okay.
important there. Yep. Whenever we are taking the damage, let's put it this way: you have to take damage, and at the same time, you also need to be able to do a lot of damage too. And the thing about taking damage, it's not just cheap pressure; it's more also thinking about what kind of cooldowns I can bait from the enemy too. And in your case, if you bait out the Genji dash and he goes in, he's gonna be messing up a lot of the things. Yeah, you may force out the deflect, you may also kill him. Now that's a really good deal. Yeah, but now when we used it, big cooldown, 15 seconds cooldown. Imagine you play Winston here, or you play Zarya, like Reinhardt. Imagine all of your defensive abilities are used now. The enemy have a choice now to engage you, right? But what you want to do is you start in with this proactive position, which is nice, but then after that, you're baiting out their action. Yeah, so it's thinking about that passive power the positioning provides, right? But then after that, you're waiting for the action to happen. Does it make sense?
So it's like my gun is an unlimited resource that I'm trying to use while I'm in position to 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 have them spend their more important cooldowns, so that when we actually fight, I have my important cooldown and he doesn't.
Exactly.
Sort of swinging it into my favor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The way you look at it is you start at that strong position, you press your primary fire, and then
Mhm.
ideally you expect them to use something, use any cooldown, and then after that you're
Mhm.
punishing them with your own cooldown. That's been a big problem sometimes. Like I said, in offline, what do you? We don't want to be using healing station too early most of the time. Yeah, you need to make sure that there's gonna be some pressure going, and then after that we can do something. You know, of course, if there's a big spam damage, I would say there's going to be kind of like exception rule. Yeah, maybe let's specify the preferences if they use cooldown. So we start with, let me just write it down, mouse one. Yep, mouse one, they use the cooldown. And then after that, we use our E. Yep, just usually we kind of go with that. Of course, adding a little bit of movement as well. Yeah, with the commit. Yeah, maybe getting our HP to full. But then after that, you can apply pressure. But you can also think about if burst damage comes in. Yeah, you using mouse one. They do a lot of burst damage. Yeah, your HP goes to half because of it. And then after that, you can also use your E. But be careful with this one, because a lot of the times why you might be taking a lot of burst damage is because of maybe not using cover in the most effective way. Maybe there's also timing thing too. But at least I would just start with thinking about what they're committing, really. Because now, when we don't have our E, you cannot go too aggressive too, right? So this way, we kind of maintain the right side angle. And you see here, for example, we're not taking damage, we're not doing anything. But at the same time, the E is used, so now you're not allowed to take more aggressive position, which you could be in theory. Does it make sense?
Okay, this one really specifically, the Doom was spamming I need healing.
Yeah, I need healing.
At least one of my healers was dead. I thought both were, but
Yeah,
looks like just the one.
I understand that.
So I thought maybe just to keep him a little bit doing something.
I
Because
understand.
Mizuki kind of, his healing is it's like a worse brig. It's sometimes, but I don't know.
So first thing is more about just implementing the habit, right? My concern is when you're going to be doing this, then there will be situations when because you do this, then you might be using your E too early again because you're using it here. That's one thing. So maybe sometimes it will be worth it in your future games to try to heal up the person. But I would also say, from perspective standpoint, you don't want to heal this guy right now. Why? Because when he's here, is he taking the damage? Is he actively in the fight right now?
No.
No, so it doesn't make sense. For the support players, I would also say you don't heal the person who is not active at the moment. Of course, if you have the downtime and maybe you're not able to do the damage or you don't see any other active target, then you go for the healing. That's okay. But in this case, he's hiding. He's around the wall here. He's fine. You can think about it as a bait in a way too. For a lot of supports, I would just say, your team is low, fine. But if they're behind a wall and the enemy knows that, then they might push that. Let's say the Genji dashes in, and then you can punish that. Why? Because they use the cooldown, and you punish that with your own cooldown, and it's all done so that a passive power. Yeah, we're thinking about that. Resources, like I said, they allow you to also be aggressive at the positions where you are, right? So we can get better cooldown trade this way. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I guess where I'm coming from here would be if it's a 15-second cooldown and I have 2 dead people and we're this close to spawn, what else is going to happen in the 15 seconds?
That's a good question.
Like, what else should I be doing if this was a definitely bad idea? Like, what should I have been trying to take? Because at this point, it's like nobody is being aggressive, so I have no distraction for the other team if I'm trying to get into a better spot, like a more aggressive position. Yeah. What would be a good idea here?
What you would say? So we're thinking about first off enabling you as a player here, potentially going forward. So what do you think? You actually said about something taking space. Would that be potentially possible for you? Because you have your E. Can you look for more aggressive position and where?
I don't think I could cut across the road here.
Why not?
So there's 5 of them looking down the road. I don't think I could get across without dying.
Well, but who's going to shoot you?
All of them? There's nothing else for them to shoot.
Yeah. Well,
if I just walked out.
Yeah. There's gonna be Ashe. There's gonna be Wuya. Maybe a little bit of Genji, but I think the Ashe is really threatening. Oh well. Anyway, when we're trying to cross, it's might be complicated, right? But
I guess I could turn around. There's. Sorry, if I went closer to spawn, I guess there's a wall there to go.
Yes.
If I really wanted.
Yes,
cover.
Exactly. Yeah, there are multiple ways to solve that. Yeah, but let's think about, for the sake of the uptime, at least if you run through here, this can work, but it's just about the way you're running. Yeah, let's say we're trying to go from point A to B here. How you would do that? Yeah, you need to try to do a little bit of the zigzag movement. You remember we talked about that. If there's a lot of pressure might come towards us, we should be in this more dodging state. It's going to be okay for you to start rotating. Of course, your tank is not as aggressive, but you can always do that in the poke phase and keep rotating. If you're really far from the enemy too, and there's no gonna be not too much damage which can one-shot you, which is the case, that's gonna be fine. And after that, your E can maybe enable you to take deeper positions, or you can also solve it the other way. Let's maybe try to do this entire rotation, go walk back here. Yeah, this is also fine. But any of those directions would work, but not this. Yeah, don't think about using your E too early. Think about how your E allows you to take aggressive position. That makes sense.
Okay, so it's just not my job.
No.
Focus on my job.
No,
okay.
No. You will recognize it later. I would say you will recognize it later too, but it's more niche situation as well. For now, for just the sake of building this habit, it's going to be okay for you to just not do this at all. It's kind of, I'll give you some other examples. Recently we had a session with the Winston player where they would constantly use their right click, but this is not your Winston's job. You're not a sniper to constantly right click the enemy, because they would right click a lot. They just lose a lot of the HP. And this is the same thing. You can do this. Yeah, you can be the sniper as Winston, or you can be healer as a soldier at some point of time, but it's just gonna be not the most effective direction most of the time. And right now, yeah, you're just not gonna win your games too this way. You just something you will figure out later. Maybe it's gonna be okay to use the healing station.
So here, if I'm thinking like this is downtime, sort of, just because of our dead guys. And we're so close to spawn, my tank's not doing anything. Instead of thinking, I should be thinking of like what to do next, right? Not just like what to do right now, but what I should be doing next.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So kind of have multiple perspectives. Let me actually write it
Mhm.
down. So, one perspective is because we're looking at it through the lens of the resources. So first, I will write down positioning. Okay. Actually, yeah. I'll just say positioning. Which we've been okay with. Yeah, we're taking the angles. We usually from what we watched. Yeah, the angles have been fine. But always remember that you can take those aggressive positions because you have the E. That's one thing. And then
Okay.
after that, what you're doing is you baiting the cooldowns with your positioning, and E allows you to do that in a more effective way. Let's put it
Mhm.
this way. Okay, so E allows you to bait cooldowns, and what are we doing with this after is if they being really aggressive, then we can punish them for it. Kind of in a similar way like any tank works in this game. You not the tank, of course, as a soldier, but you partially why I would say like you partially tanking because you have some amount of sustain, and there's always an idea about sustain. It's not about just healing the person or even healing yourself just because you in a bad spot or maybe your teammates in a bad spot. It's rather how can I use that sustain to enable my aggression later because I'm being really proactive with my position, which I
Mhm.
find most of the time is a really good tool to use. Yeah, I'm thinking how deep I can go with my angle, how I can take space because I have that sustain. Yeah, because I have that sometimes mobility too, by the way. Mobility and sustain, that's how I would put it. Yeah. But you have
Okay.
both as soldier. So we need to take
Yeah.
advantage of it as much as possible.
So it's like that little chip damage that might stop an Ash from peaking is something that doesn't matter as much to Soldier. But it's not like I can preempt that with the healing station. I need to take that little bit of damage
Yeah, it's mostly running. Yeah, a little bit
and
of
sort of
running.
make it down.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would say the most ideal scenario, you start here, you run in zigzags, and then after that you take HP pack, then you go for the damage, they start damaging you, maybe Genji dashes in, you punish this guy
Mhm.
because you have your E, and you get a kill. You have the opening now, instead of it being
Mhm.
like more of a passive tool here. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just always this. Good kill there. Punish them out of position. Like I said, we were always able to punish them. And you see this. What actually happened? Why they... Yeah, by the way, they kind of fall into this trap partially because this guy is low, but that's what I want you to constantly think about. This guy, because they've been really aggressive, first off, they messed up their position, and second, they kind of panicked and they used their shift because they mispositioned too. But it's all
Mhm.
because we also have the pretty aggressive position, but you can have even better one as well, yeah, and create a
Mhm.
crossfire. So you can not only punish this guy, but also maybe anybody else too. But they still made a mistake, which is nice. We capitalize on it. Yeah, but you see how it works. Yeah, your mouse one forces the action, and then after that, you can kill them. All right, pushing through, and can take the top left. That's fine. And now we're here,
I
and
feel
we
like
have.
that was really late. Man.
Well,
Staying.
yeah, it's still quite good position here, I would say. If we're just controlling this entire street here, why not? And see you sitting here, sit, yeah. And now there's no need to use your healing station again, because this
Yeah.
guy's not
Like I
committing.
said, it just seems so wired in there that I'm not even thinking about it. It just happens.
I think we should
But
do
yeah,
like the
it needs to
Lilia.
be another one of those things. I think it needs to be on my list of. I was also going to ask what you thought about changing the keybinds for something like that to
No,
be
no.
something that I actually need
This
to think
will
about.
mess you up completely. I wouldn't do that. Well, for some players
Okay.
it worked out, but you know what you need to think about in this case is trigger points. When do I use that specific cooldown? And it's just this idea of if you have a bad habit, you need to try to replace it with slightly better habit. Yeah, so trigger
Mhm.
points. Maybe, for example, for a lot of players, the good habit is jumping. Okay, I can maybe replace it with crouching. In your case, instead of me pressing the E, what I want you to be thinking about is, well, what do you would say actually? What you can replace it with if you feel like you're in danger?
Corners.
Corners. Okay, so let's actually point this out. Okay, how to fix early E. Okay, we can maybe do corners. Okay, first thing. Okay, what is that corner I'm taking? Okay, what else?
Uh, healer line of sight. Just make sure I have that.
None of sight is good. Okay, and what else?
Checking my health.
Helps. This
Like
helps.
in this case, I'm 250 out of 250, and I
Yeah,
still drop it.
yeah.
So
Oh well, this may help. I still say that your main point is try to make sure that you secure your house, and I think yeah, cover helps, line of sight helps. I would also add more movement as well. If you feel like okay, there's a lot of damage gonna come in, just do a little bit of movement. Of course, it depends on what you're trying to do, yeah, who you are against currently. But now there's just adding a little bit of strafes. That's all. So I'm not even doing anything because they're not actively committing. If they would use the dash, then maybe you can add more chaos. Yeah, it's always the scale of you thinking about either doing damage. So this is where the movement is going to be really low. Yeah, let's put it this way: movement low priority, and then on the other side of the scale, you're doing less damage. So let's put it this way: damage is low, here damage is high, and then on this side of the scale, movement is going to be high. That's what we call this entire thing dodging. You dodge stuff, and here
okay.
it's just normal strafes. Usually, you still need to strafe to some point. Maybe sometimes you don't have to strafe at all, and you can stand still. But it usually happens if the enemy is not doing any damage, they're not aware of you at all. But now there's some awareness. I would say the enemy is able to do a little bit of damage. This guy is able to do a little bit of damage. So I just do normal strafes. That's fine. That's enough. But you wouldn't do any extreme dodging, running like we saw with some of the front clips back in the days. Remember
Yeah.
some of them? Yeah, where they go left, right. Yeah, it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, let's keep watching. So yeah, because now you would have your E.
Oh, sorry, one sec. My boss is calling.
Okay. That's fine. Take your time. All right. Meanwhile, gonna post the notes in here.
Okay, we're good. Sorry.
Yep. All right. Everything's fine. Yeah. So we left that that because you have your E, you can take more aggressive position after too. Yeah, because let's say you really want to challenge somebody in this room. Okay, now I can do this. Maybe even get in a slightly shorter distance. Of course, be careful, but it's just something to think about. You have more flexibility. We get the E after, which is not bad at all. But unfortunately, they are able to get a lot of value with their ultimates, which is ideally you should give up the space instantly. And this is where actually,
well, here my team all died, and I just thought I'll die too. But I went for a kill, just ran in. Hopefully,
yeah,
maybe could get a kill, maybe not. But I should probably die and reset too.
yeah. I think this is fine most of the time. But my question to you is: that something of what's possible to live through, and maybe bait the enemy to chase you, and then you survive until the next engage? What do you would say?
I feel like it's possible. I just didn't know if it was worth the risk of staggering like that. Because yeah, I could have gone around the back of the building and maybe got out, but I want
you to try that. I want you to try to think about it too. So after, let's say, bait and the cooldowns didn't win, okay, well, they just have a bunch of stuff now, and of course you're at disadvantage. Okay, doing this, maybe try to experiment and see how long you can live. Of course, there will be times where it will be called stagger, like why you're staggering, yeah, why you're dying. But as soldier, it's pretty decent strategy, actually. You can live in their backline a lot of the times because you have that movement. Kind of similar to Tracer. That's what I would
Yeah.
try to experiment with. So
Yeah.
let's say, if
I've definitely done that, but
yeah,
not this time.
yeah. I think just kind of add to our layer of the resources because you have your E.
Mhm.
Enemy might do something stupid and keep chasing you, and because they keep chasing you, then you can get a kill and find an opening for the next fight. Yep.
And
So
honestly, looking at it like right here, if I turned left and went like the long way around
yes.
to like behind them, no, the other way,
Oh, you're
like
talking about just completely like go
just
here.
go for the flank. No. If you turn left,
Yeah, right
turn all
here.
the way left.
Oh, you're talking
Yeah,
about all the way
yeah,
deeper. I like it.
yeah.
Okay, I like this idea.
That's
Why not? Yeah, actually, you can use this entire map and go over here. There's really good
mhm,
soldier sightline eventually. That's what I see a lot of
yeah.
soldiers do. It's pretty tough to get to the choke, but once they do, they run across here and you have such a
Mhm,
good sightline to do anything you want to. So yeah, do that. Yeah, I think
mhm,
whenever it's possible. Oh well. Anyway. Let's keep
mhm.
watching. Okay, do you have any questions, by the way, so far?
No, I think no. Everything I've had a question about, I've asked. So
Yeah,
we're we're making progress, mental progress here.
yeah. That's all right.
It's
That's all
good.
right. Because a lot of the times there's also pressure from your teammates to tell you what are you doing, where you
Mhm,
are, but this fundamentally this works. This is how imagine we're using the pro player as our role model. Remember the
mhm.
times when I showed you a few clips there. Yep, I think
Yeah,
maybe just kind of take a quick look as well. Let me see. I think just any other clip to emphasize this. Let me see. Okay, soldier, for example, this one. Okay, when we constantly flank in, this one, I think we watched this one actually. Okay, what about maybe there's another one? Okay, maintaining angles, flanking. Yeah, this one is one of the best. I feel like you just always can use this as a reference in a way. I'm thinking.
the
Okay,
Cervasa one.
yeah. This
Yeah.
one I typically show this one where it's just constant running, and even though they chase
Mhm,
you, even though you're at disadvantage, you can do that. And because I survive here. And there's just so much space to work with. This still
mhm,
works. Eventually, your teammates, they got an advantage too, so that's quite nice. But he's just constantly doing this stuff where you can live in that backline like this and be so annoying. Let's say, for example, even the next fights after, you see them, they always kind of across the map somewhere, and there, that's your example here. What do I do if my team is dead? Okay, I can use this time to reposition, and I'm not sitting with the rest of my core. Well, it's just kind of depends on the map too. I feel like in this one, there's not as possible to maybe, let's say, to find an angle around the objective now, but they kind of sneaking in, waiting, really. There's also a small thing you can do. There's an emote which allows you to scout around the
yeah.
map. For example, this one, yeah, that's what they do. That's what I would do too. Just try to scout and see where the enemies are. But you can do all of that while your teammates are really far behind, and just keep looking. He's laughing dude, because he's scouting and seeing what's going on. And then my teammates are going, and then I go in from this insane flank, and I can do the pressure and kind of surprise the enemy a little bit. They go pressure on me. I change the angle because they're trying to run, but all of this is doable. Yeah, I really like this one.
Mhm.
All
And he
right.
didn't press E. So
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't because no
just found
commitment.
the health pack. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was actually thinking of that on our list there. I didn't put the health packs.
Yeah, exactly.
There was
HP.
a health pack in the room right next to me at the
Yeah,
time too.
actually, that's one of the ways how to fix you early too. Yeah, run
Mhm.
2 HP pack. But I would say corners and your line of sight. Line of sight is less of a preference because you're flanker, but still possible.
Yeah.
But corners and chaotic movement is more
Mhm.
100% something you want to do. Anyway, you also have the passive too, which is nice. And after a certain amount of time, you will eventually get your HP back. But see here, attention is on me, movement and cover first. I'm not using my E. Okay, if there's gonna be commitment, let's see when they use the E actually. Is it worth it? Yeah, they're not using it here. They're waiting, using it as a leverage. Now, I think during this time, that's when you can start committing it. Let's see if they do that. Actually, they're playing really greedy. They're playing it really greedy, but it's possible, right? There's something what I want you to think about. Yeah, see, this adding extra movement, yeah, they recognize maybe it's an easy kill. That's why, yeah, they're very scoped into. So they kind of add in a lot of burst damage, and they just do more and more strafes and get in kill. But maybe after, maybe you will need that to just kind of secure the point, for example, or duel the other person. That's actually fine. Once there's going to be a time when there's going to be the E on them. Now, even after Dynamite, not using that. Here, yeah, so this when a lot of the pressure... A lot of the pressure coming their way, there's just no choice to live. And we're using it trying to survive, but obviously, if there's a big ultimate thrown on us, then we cannot do that. But these were tried, and this can be a good trade too. Like, don't view those type of deaths if you try to blast corners, and at the same time, you added the movement, but you die to something big like this. Well, this is an okay trade a lot of the time. So you can try this. You can try this out most of the time. Well, anyway, any questions or do we keep watching?
No, that's good. I feel like yeah, we've talked about not pressing E, but I don't think I've thought about like what to do when I want to press E.
Yeah. Because this is a big thing. You don't do this, but do what instead? Yeah, we need actionable goals.
Exactly. Yeah.
How to fix early? It's always replace it with something actionable. Corners, chaotic movement first in your case. HP packs. Yeah, that's a good addition. And then here, what kind of options do we have? Let's say I'm here. Well, I have option to take this HP pack as well. Maybe option to even take a HP pack deep here.
There's the HP pack behind you too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Right there. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know about that one until recently, but it's nice to know.
This one can be quite useful. Yeah, like this one can be okay-ish. I would still argue, not sure, but yeah, this one feels so better because at least they make a commitment with the cooldown after you. So there's a chance you might take a lot of pressure. At least you're gonna trade this for the kill, which is always worth it. Yeah, treat it this way. As I can use the E like this most of the time if I get insane value with the cooldowns, or I can get a kill. Actually, a good point too. Yeah, so if they use a lot of cooldowns, you're gonna use E. If you can get a kill, you can use E as well. Yeah, this is also, that's why in that different example versus the Ashe, I would say it can be okay-ish to also use the E there. But yeah, most of the time.
It's about trading the value of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Recognize the value of E and trading it for something of similar value.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
I'm here now on the flank, really good position. And what do I do next? I'm thinking trading the value. So here we're going in. Don't press E. Just shoot. Nice. No need to do anything. These guys are not even paying attention to you. And there's such a good flank there. Yeah, that's really good. That feels really good. Okay. Don't even.
I never pressed my E. I never pressed my E. We did
exactly. I didn't need that here too. In this one, I usually prefer this sideline is really good if you can get it. There's also HP pack and a little bit sharper corner on the sideline, but yeah, let's keep watching. Okay, so anyway, a lot of damage, got the kill, looks good. Now we're on the left side, running. Fine. I would just use this left side, to be honest. Just so you run in different space, and then if they ever chase you, then you can drop this way. Because it's so difficult to break through the choke like this. You even have to, well, you can make this rotation, but I don't like this one.
I'll do that one later, yeah.
Yeah, it's just this left side.
I think I go both ways eventually. The whole map, it just takes so long.
No, let's see. That's one of the difficulties with Soldier. If you don't make those early rotations through the chokes, then you're not able to do continuous damage, and that's where Cassidy is better at this point of time in the chokes. But if you made it through, then it's such an oppressive way to play, and the enemy is gonna be constantly aware of you, and then you can run towards their spawn. That's nice. Oh well, a lot of pressure from the main here. Ryan might die. Well, maybe they're not dying yet.
Be a little quicker to recognize that I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, it's just here. Probably take the rotation, right? It's maybe possible.
Even going right at this point.
Yeah, I think
like either way.
Yeah,
do something.
You know, I also wanna say that if you have trouble getting to the choke, yes, taking that route might be worth it, but sometimes you can also see if your tank's going aggressive, then you can use this point of time to start rotating. So let me also point this out. Use tank's aggression, or like, let's say, use your team as a resource. Okay, tank goes in. I can start taking space, walk through the choke. It's really, really good in this case. We can get to the left side. Yep, while our Doomf is busy. Maybe there's gonna be anyone else too. And yeah, but mostly it's gonna be your tank's aggression once they're doing something. And this way you can avoid getting shot at too, which is really difficult to get through. Against the Reinhardts in the chokes, yeah, you have to always split the attention. And to be honest, me as a Ryan player, I hate the soldiers. They get on the flank if they do it really well and at the right time. It's just such a hard target to deal with. Of course, you can try to maybe pin towards them, but you have a lot of movement. You cannot run. You cannot run and deal with them instantly. Okay, that's good. Punish the Sombra. Go on the right side. Looks good. Okay. Across? Sure. I like this one. Okay. Yeah, this one looks good. Nice. And this is the time where you can think about it again, I feel like. So, we're fighting for the third point. You know you're gonna get the objective, probably. But think about your rotations right away. I would maybe try to experiment and see how deep I can go with this one. It may seem a little bit deep, but I would experiment. Again, I think you might die here, but you have your ultimate too. So, if they commit something, and even though there are gonna be two people who chase you, you may get a good trade of it, and your team can push through eventually. Like, don't treat dying as a bad thing, too, in those cases. If you get a better cooldown trade, if you're winning more space. Because now this is a little bit more conservative sideline, right? It still can work, but I just would try to really, really think how deep I can go, like we said, with your ultimate, if you have one. And, yeah, let's also say that because your resource allows you to take more aggressive position, your ult allows you to do the same. Yeah, we can always think about deeper positions. That's how I would put it.
Cool.
Yeah, any questions?
Nope.
Oh, okay, let's keep watching. Well, yeah, do you want to skip to any specific part as well, or do you want to keep watching this attack?
I mean, I feel like third points on basically every push map. This is where they get like less options.
Gonna be
Is
less.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, this one's like not as bad. It's pretty wide, but yeah, easier to defend. I don't know.
On most maps, I think you're right. It's gonna be usually more enclosed space to work with, but you just look at the sideline, see what you have there. If you have some high ground, long sideline, maybe Sojourn is okay. For example, Dorado, third point. Eichenwald is a good example. You have kind of longer sidelines, but a lot of the enclosed space to work with, but because you have that burst with Surge or Cassidy, you can put in more pressure. With Soldier, it's going to be more difficult. You have to be really creative and run through the choke at the right time to just get in the position. But yeah, like with this one, it's sort of okay-ish. It can work if you manage it right. If you go on the right side here, yeah. Going for the Soldier ultimate, oh well, can be okay if there's no other option to do. Okay, sure. In this case, maybe it's more forgiving to use E because it's the last fight, and you can secure a couple of kills after that, so that's alright. Oh well. Let's see, a little bit of defense. Okay, what are we doing here? Yeah, usually starting with this top position is good. Top right, it's gonna be good for us to start with. Our Doomfist is in their spawn. Okay, let's see. Alright, a little bit of damage here. Maybe no flank options right now, but that's fine. Might get pushed from the right side. Okay.
But I think this is where I was thinking that, like, I don't have a lot of room, like, to be really aggressive as the defender feels a little weird. Like, if I were to, like, go down the hallway to the right just to get the angle, feels weird to, like, put myself in that position. Because they're the ones that have to come forward, not me.
Yeah.
But it did make me think that, like, say, like, the Genji or even the Emery could jump over the wall on the left just to be, like, more aware of, like, other people trying to take angles to like shut down their angles.
Mhm.
I feel like that I haven't really thought about what other people are doing like that when it's not specifically directed at me.
Yeah,
But
I think this helps too, to be honest. If you know where they might come from, then you can reposition. And for example, in this case, if you know that we're going to be fighting for this area over here, mostly, then what your positioning will look like, what your angle will look like eventually. What do you think?
well, I'd probably end up rotating left unless they came through the house, and then I could, if my team goes left, I could be in the house to the right, like the upstairs or even
Yeah,
downstairs.
yeah, probably. I think this is gonna be okay as long as you have this long sightline, continuous damage. But also, you see,
Yeah.
when you're running, don't press your E here, but probably take HP back and then get back in the fight after. And this way, once they start aggressing with the other cooldowns, like maybe dash, maybe there's gonna be something else, then this will allow you to feel more secure. Yeah, like I can maybe technically even play this, like I take HP back and stay on this platform if, you know, they get in picks. And then you force aggression, you have your E to stabilize yourself, yeah, just help yourself out. But now there's no E, so of course we have to play more defensive. Yeah, just might be something. Took HP back here, okay, playing defensive, that's fine. Playing the left platform later can be okay, the right side maybe also. Oh, the left side is really good. Yeah, the left side is even better. Yeah, this is gonna be good. Okay, not pressing the E, just waiting. Okay, a lot of aggression, take HP back. This one is good. I would maybe, think about that. Maybe it can be okay to try to re-peek, but yeah, you have to judge. I feel like this can also work, the sideline. You just have to always judge and see if you know that the character's duel is doable. I feel like if they cannot one-shot you, maybe versus Armor, it can be doable at this range. Genji, of course, doable. Maybe it can also be okay to try to take the fight. But yeah, I think this idea of trying to rotate to another angle is really nice, though, as long as you're able to do that. See the E, though. Okay, so, of course, we took the HP back, and now we don't have as much HP. Yeah, so maybe in this case, it's kind of understandable, because really low, but trying to think about it. Well, HP pack, yeah, if there's no option, sure. If there's no option, then it can be okay. You really have
I
to
don't have
somehow...
healer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have healers that can really. They're not like long range healing.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. So just once you don't have any of the options, then sure, go for the E like this. But if you do, which most of the time before we did have the option, then probably hold it. Like here, I'm sitting in this position, okay? And then if something goes wrong, I have HP pack near me, so I'm not using the E, yes, take your E. It feels better on defense for us. Yeah, add a little bit of movement too, and we're good. Now, we just shoot, okay? We can take more aggressive position, because you have your E, that's fine, looks good. Now we have our visor as well, maybe you can think about that. Sometimes it can be even interesting to be sneaky if they have really not as mobile composition. If they get through and then you being sneaky, just hiding on the flank like this, and then you can pop your ultimate once everyone goes in, especially Doomfist. If they punch in, jump in, then makes it easy. Nice. Yeah, your ultimate is good at shutting down the Emery as well. Right? Yeah, seems not too much trouble on the defense so far. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any questions?
No, no. As I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I was like what I was working on, which was timing and threat management.
Yeah, I feel like this is
long
looking decent.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because yeah, mostly paying attention to those things. I got like 2 games away from Diamond, which felt pretty good because my DPS has never been my best role. But it's yeah, paying attention to the things we've talked about has been helpful. And I feel like as much as we've said I have bad ease, bad health packs, health pads. It's not something I've actively tried to work on. But
That's all right.
even something like dueling the Genji, like waiting on my rockets to use like after deflects and stuff. um, like I've even been a little bit more paying attention to that. But even a game like this, where like it feels like I did a lot. Like the game ended. It's a 27-minute game or replay anyway, and I was 51-5, but it still like came down to the wire in overtime, and it was like I don't know. Clearly, like stats don't always matter, but I feel like when you have something uh, like there's something else going on that I'm not quite getting still. That yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know. I
think
don't know what it is.
yeah, I think so far with us taking angles is definitely
Mhm,
looking better timing, awareness on the things. That's nice. We just will be polishing some of the stuff too later, of course, but
mhm,
I feel like this is good progress. And yeah, maybe starting with this, just thinking about your E and ultimates and maybe getting more creative about some of it. Yeah, just thinking about, okay, the fight starts. What's my win condition here? How can I play this so we can end up on the flank and maybe use the tank aggression to go in and go to the choke. You can also think about your ultimate as the tool, like we said as well. Yeah, once you have what I want you to try is, so let's point it out. So ult usage, because it allows you to hold aggressive position. Then that means you can sneak on the flank, let enemy walk in, and then after that you can use your ultimate. A little bit more of this, instead of it being like damage, 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 and then you ult. Because sometimes you don't have option to do damage, because if you do, then you give up your position, because they will push you really hard. Yeah, it's kind of like Tracer. These of the Tracer is similar, because Soldier, it's just slightly different for Soldier. You have to hold the mid-range or long-range positions, but this idea of, let's say, Tracer sneaking on the enemy backline with the pulse bomb. This is doable. You're not doing any damage at all. You're waiting for the enemy to walk in, but then you strike at the perfect time when the rest of your team is ready. Maybe that's what I would also try out. Yeah, if you're talking about the resources, how we can leverage it to help you even more, you get more creative all over this stuff. I'm thinking
mhm.
this can be a great help. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, it makes sense to try to think about. Yeah, I don't even know if being more creative, but like even like I'm clearly at times going down the right, like taking my off angles and being in the right spots. But I feel like it oftentimes seems to take a really long time for me to commit to, like I'll be sitting there shooting the shield for like 30 seconds and then go, oh, maybe I should go somewhere else because this isn't working. Whereas like all I need to do is see the shield and be like, well, I'm not going to do anything. Just go do something else. I don't, I don't. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but if I want to be on an angle, then the times when I'm not on the angle should be times where I'm thinking about getting back on an angle. I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's a
It
good
feels
way.
like what we were talking about with like sitting on the health pack with the Doom at the very beginning of the game. It was like I'm not doing anything I should be doing, or at least thinking of what, like getting to where I want to be next, rather than kind of wasting time with what feels like downtime just because other people aren't doing things. Doesn't mean I need to be useless as well. And yeah, being creative about it is more just like working with what's actually available, right?
Yeah, yeah, I would say this is gonna be pretty good. What do you think? Do you wanna try to do a game on this? Maybe try to do a little bit
Sure.
of, yeah. Maybe try to think about our alt E. I think starting with E, especially. So
Sure.
yeah, we're just trading a little bit of the enemy attention, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can do that. And I
Yeah.
actually have my new laptop, so I can play without it stuttering all over the place.
Nice.
Um, yeah. Should I do a comp game or just a quick play or?
If you're warmed up, then let's do competitive. If not,
Sure.
then maybe quick play is okay.
Sure.
Yeah, let's
It's
see.
usually quick enough queues.
Oh yeah, that's good. There are more players currently with new characters as well. All right, let's see. Yeah, if you want to warm up, also feel free to do so.
Oh,
Maybe
I'm good.
deathmatch or something. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I played a quick play while I was waiting for you.
nice. That's
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Okay. Yeah, what else we have? So positioning first, baiting the cooldowns. Yeah, and then of course, yeah, the matchups for later. Maybe we can also talk about. There is something what we usually talk about once we close to masters as well. Maybe looking at the entire matchup, and this also can give you direction of what they can be doing. Yeah, it's not only about like they have this X character, but it's more they have X, Y, Z characters. So how it affects me in terms of the matchup we have right
Yeah.
now, just with your composition versus theirs, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, this may be also
Okay.
something we can talk about. So yeah, adjusting playstyle, and this is talking about just based on composition. Okay, let's see. Dorado, which point Gibraltar? What do you prefer?
I don't have a preference for push maps or escort maps. I do not care.
Dorado can be okay if you have opportunity to also play on defense, quite nice. But on attack, you need to take longer rotations. So let's see. If you get Jetpack Cat, maybe you can do the combo with ultimate.
Jetpack Cat is my first ban every. I just go these
I
two every
understand.
game. They're so annoying.
Yeah, I
No one's at
understand.
the point yet of like playing enough Jetpack Cat to not be throwing, so it's annoying.
Well, there's some good cats out there. I definitely think
I don't know
this.
how many are in platinum though, so there's that.
Yeah,
But
well, it's okay. I definitely think it's more of if you're able to synchronize with your team, if you know that well, there's
yeah,
somebody you can be confident with, maybe you can try to pull off something, pull off the combo. But yeah, it's
yeah.
okay.
I mean, yeah. There's never voice chat either though, so I feel like if you're in a group, it might be fun, but I don't know. I've seen there's some streamers like Aspen and Crandup and a couple others. They've been five stacking with just the new heroes. So there's a lot of Jetpack Cat plays there, but that's with five champ players communicating. It's a little different.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of also if you're top of 100 player, well, let's say champion, GM rank, because most of the time you know the people you play with there too,
Yeah,
and you can always communicate with them. That's how it's been in my games as well. I just know everybody, and then if I'm confident that this is a player I know, then I can maybe communicate something interesting, more like
yeah.
creative stuff.
I feel like also somewhere along the line, the fact that like voice matters.
Yeah, well, it matters, but of course, it starts to matter once you solved everything with your performance. All right, and let's focus on. Okay, we're gonna focus on AOE. I think most of the time here, if Winston jumps in, if you also see what else they have on their comp actually. Okay, so
Well, they have Bastion
yeah, let's
Reaper.
say Reaper. Yeah, maybe Curie contesting us once they're going very aggressive. Yep, then maybe you
Few
can
people
start.
jumping on us. And,
Yep. But see, you're also kind of watching if there's close range characters like this, if they get really close, maybe create a little bit of distance too at the start. Yeah, it's not always kind of sitting face to face versus the Winston because they really rely on the bubble. You can run a little bit away. It's kind of like versus Vendetta or Reaper as well. A little bit of distance first, and then after that, you can pop your E. Like I said, you're usually using corners and distance is your first trigger. Yeah, but not the E right away. Yeah. So like first, always thinking about that. Yeah, it's here you're gonna get jumped really soon. So first of all, you're gonna be moving, and
Some
then
space.
yeah, like move, and after
Mhm.
that you can place your E if needed. Okay, no need. Okay,
Yeah.
now take some space if you're gonna get jumped, and then create the distance, and only later E. They also might be walking out of the bubble because of it too. Yeah, see, okay, a little bit of movement, okay, and then can keep attacking later.
Yeah, health is good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can keep moving on the angle. The left side is good. All right, good damage. Where's their shift? If we get a pick there, that's gonna be huge. Might be a little bit tough. They have the tempo here. A little bit of running. Okay, that's fine. Can shoot this guy now. Yeah. A little bit of running first. Shoot him after. Can still maybe kill this guy. Okay, the Reaper's dead. You can take the angle, by the way. Don't sit on the left side.
Yeah, Reaper dead.
Yeah. It's always, once they use their defensive, you're more free to contest them. Don't be afraid of it. Even though you're kind of getting closer, it's all gonna be okay. Your main point is bait cooldown, so you can kill them. So if you force something like TP and shift, then after that, you're more free to do something. And your E is exactly there to like help you out to do that.
I forgot I had the perk. My rocket was too fast.
That's fine. Right, a little bit of distance. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. And then shooting. That's how you do it, kind of. You just let them dive you. Okay. They use something, and then you use your E. Because Winston used the bubble. Okay, here. They know bubble, so you're okay at holding this. Nice. Okay, now, next. A Reaper might go on us. Okay, force shift. Alright. No shift, be more aggressive. Yeah. And run in and kill the Reaper. Right? Winston no bubble too, so if he jumps on us, we can press E and sit. And shoot it.
Yeah, I've been trying to count. Like he has one jump, so he's...
Yep. Okay. Now he's gonna run.
Oh,
yeah. So it's just because they have bubble and Reaper has shift, you run first. After that, they will be popping it most likely, and you have your E as well to secure the kill. That's it. It's alright.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have our ultimate next. Okay, run a little. Force shift. Okay.
Nope. What was that?
You can try to retake, but make sure that you force shift first. This guy is gonna be...
Where'd he go?
A little bit of distance. E, nice, nice, that's good. And see, now we force this guy to use the ultimate. I know we lost the point, but it's better, it's still trading. Yeah, it's trading our movement with their ultimate there. So after that, you guys have more chance to secure the third point here. Okay, and the bubble is used. Can be more aggressive.
There's one jump.
Yeah.
And then this bubble should be available after the next jump. Right? Something like that. So here he should have bubble again.
Run. That's gonna be creative angle on the right side too. Most of the time,
I don't want to drop because there's no way back up.
Yeah. It may work if you have your ultimate, maybe you can start there, but yeah, see, the left lane is your option. Like, you can peek all the way left side on the stairs, by the way. So, like, right there. Yeah. Slightly better. Left side. If you can, try to maintain the angle where you are, but kind of run on it. Yeah, so you can go back to the room, and then if they extend, then you can use your E after. The first thing is running. Like, try to not drop to your team, but run to here, maybe. To this room. Yeah, also HP pack too, by the way. Yeah, it's right on the left side.
Yeah, I don't think I could have that.
Yeah, it's just later. Yeah, for later. But distance first, of course. The Winston is gonna jump you, it's fine. Treat it as you baiting him. Okay, he's jumping. Okay, nice. And you hold it. Yeah. Now, if they really go on you, like here, you can press your E really soon. Now. No. Sort of. Yeah. And you keep holding because they're pressing you hard. Probably run away after. Yeah. If you see the Winston jumping, yeah. Okay, almost close. But that was okay. You see the way we done it? We started at the pressure. You've done a little bit of running, the bubble is used, and then they still go out of their way. You still sit with your E, and then after that, yeah, it's reading the flow a little bit, but yeah. It's been a good example.
It's just
It's fine. It'll get used to it. But that was a really good example. It's just right after, if they extend like too much, and then maybe you can run even more. But that's why it's always changing. Yeah, it's not like the game is dynamic, of course. Yeah, you start something, okay, you start running, and then after that we mentioned press your E, but then you have to swap between those two modes sometimes. It's fine. It's just at least we're getting in the habit of making sure that first off run corner HP packs, and then after that you use an E like you did in that top left. That was good.
Yeah, I think sometimes I just trick myself into thinking that sprint is a lot better than it, or not better, but that it'll get me out of tight situations a little quicker than it actually does.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Yeah, your sprint is kind of just your ability to constantly live on the flank and keep forcing their cooldowns and attention in a way. Of course, the part of it is also how we move. Yeah, like the good soldiers, they're so chaotic with their movement, and this is partially where you can. We can also talk about it, but you're just kind of pretending to go one way and then you go another way. Like, for example, this is the Winston. They might expect you to go one way to HP pack, but then you tweak them by going the opposite way instantly. You kind of pretend that you go there, but then opposite way, and then maybe you dodge the jump. Yeah, it's just small stuff like this, but definitely complicated sometimes to pull off, but yeah.
No, that's Cassidy. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, rotation first. You can see for options if you can retake it, especially if they're not there. It's totally fine for you to try to keep fighting for the top right most of the time. Like a Tracer, you fought a little bit. Okay, they spent resources, but doesn't mean you have to run away completely.
That miss. Oh, jeez.
It's fine. Yeah, here HP pack first, I would say, and then after that you press the...
Yeah, I turned to look at it, but I realized I was stunned, and then...
That's okay.
Yeah.
Alright, find your options where you can go with the more proactive
Race on the low ground again. I feel like that just doesn't have a lot of space for the Reaper and the...
Yeah, the sword side is gonna be okay most of the time. Just keep... If your tank is dead, yeah, you kind of keep rotating, but then after, you can retake and fight. You see, you can fight this guy. Yeah. Oh, okay, be careful of the bubble, though.
Oh, yeah,
If there's a bubble, you instantly run. If there's no bubble, then you keep fighting. But yeah, it's just...
I guess there's a door behind me. Yeah.
That's alright.
Yeah, okay.
Not easy matchup, too. Yeah, they have Winston, they have Reaper. This is a really good map for them, too, so it's all understandable. I was still trying to see. Try to force their action. You run first, and after that you use your E. But don't run away too far. Have this 10-15 meters range. Okay, this is a good option, actually. Let's try this. Okay, we have our ultimate really soon. Open up. Yeah, the angle. The team is fighting really deep there. Really good angle here. Okay, run. But on the angle, No. Okay. just back. Just behind.
He was behind me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's,
I don't know.
If you landed like this, you just run to HP pack and you keep forcing the bubble, and after that you can maybe stay there. That's okay.
I feel like this might be one of those places where I swap, but...
Well, you can try. You have your ultimate though. Maybe try this out. Try to go for something creative, like top right, and then start with the Once they don't have bubble, you're more free to use your ultimate there. They don't have bubble, by the way.
Oh, jeez.
Run, and... Okay, no, never mind. If you use your E, then sure. But...
The
yeah.
Winston is so on top of me. I mean, not just me. I'm not being targeted.
Yeah.
He's just doing a good job at zoning me out.
Yeah, they'll always still try. It's just kind of one of the easiest targets as well, because... Well, maybe Anna, too, but... Yeah. You guys should be winning this fight now. Alright. Creative options for the ultimate next fight. You also go into the choke. Yeah, so like, instantly, we need to get somewhere. You cannot afford yourself to stay on the point.
Yeah.
Let's see what's next.
I feel like at this point I would have already switched to Bastion.
Oh well. Yeah, this might be slightly easier with this matchup, but yeah. They know bubble, by the way. You can keep staying and shooting this guy. Yeah, this guy is... Yeah, he's dead.
Okay,
Nice. Okay, next. Right, you guys should be winning. Take space, goes to the choke, take space, and find the angle of where you can go.
Oh my goodness.
See where you can go. Not main, not main. Yeah, somewhere else.
Where'd the health pack go?
Yeah, the right side can try this.
Where-
Okay, don't worry now
Cassidy.
about the objective. Yeah, the right side is good. Okay, Winston will use... Yes, okay, good. And try to recontest. Yeah, don't run to run away too fast. Okay, yeah, the HP pack run. Okay. Yeah, okay. Just keep shooting his head.
Well, we
It's
took
almost...
point. We're good.
Yeah. Okay, you almost killed him there. It's okay. It's okay.
Space created. We
You know,
accomplished
the
something.
one thing I want to say, don't make it hard for you to shoot this guy too. He's up.
Yeah, I realized that it was. I usually stand still because, like, against Moira's and Winston's, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Just stand still, and you can hit his head, and then maybe you kill him right there, because he didn't have a bubble for some time too. But yeah, just at the end of the engagement, he did. All right. Creative option. Wow, ultimate.
It's too far.
We can reposition. Alright, Reaper shift, nice skill. And guys slows the tank, but you can maybe keep getting picks there. The Winston will chase you, though, expect it. If they chase you, to keep running.
If he dives.
Yeah, he might be. He will. Yeah, he's targeting you now. Yeah, okay.
Whoa, shoot, he didn't make it up. Shoot. Okay.
Nice. Okay, and yeah, if they keep chasing, then you can press the E and fight. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, good. We'll force out the bubble. Alright. So don't forget about the visor, think.
Alright.
As soon as they use some ability, usually kind of good to start doing something, because you're not gonna get contested heavily. Yeah, just about the ultimate there. Nice angle there.
Oh!
Close.
Could not hit a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Can
man.
rotate. Yeah. Oh well. If there's a kill opportunity, you can try, but careful. They close the gap with you really soon.
Trying to get closer to my team. Right.
That's okay. That's okay. Not the easiest game too here, but you know, it's so good to learn a few things. I would say the biggest thing to me, what stands out is, if they make a move, I don't want you to run away completely. It's okay to maybe think about changing the angle if you have like really close one in another kind of similar value as Soldier, but usually for you, because you have a lot of mobility, I would say keep running in your lane and then try to retake it and keep contesting those guys, like Tracer, but you play in Soldier. So there's just been times when the Winston jumps in. Yeah, I can kind of keep running the lane, and then after that, if he uses the bubble, then I'm more free to do something. Yeah, you can even just use your E and get a kill. And similar to Reaper too. If they jump in, okay, first move is run away. Second, they keep committing. If they keep committing, you use your E afterwards, and this secures the kill in the way. Like with trading, like I said, bubble for E is huge, or a shift for E is also okay. Actually, trading TP and shift, so that's always better trade. You know, you can kind of look at it this way. If I forced couple of their cooldowns, then it might be worth it to use the. Or maybe I'm really close to get a kill on this guy. Yeah, worth it to use the E2, but yeah, it definitely takes time to get used to. I know, but yeah, it's all right. That's all right. It's still a good job on the kind of not using the E too early. Yeah, like there were so many good examples with the how like because we hold the E, yeah, you can be more aggressive. Not the easiest matchup though, but yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. So what do you think about this game?
Uh,
Do you have any questions? Maybe.
no, no, I don't think I'm ever going to play good while trying to listen and talk. Like if some of you know what I mean. It's just it's not that I don't know what else I like. I don't know whatever. No, uh, not about this game. No. Well, I guess. I mean that's sort of a dive comp, sort of, right? Like a Juno,
Yeah,
like their
versus
healer
you. Yeah,
Reaper.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um. So being a solo flanker in that situation just doesn't seem wise.
You know,
Like
it's
adapting to the game, adapting to like the game that's going on. Uh, Maybe I don't know. It's like if I'm trying to play soldier in a way that like say soldier's supposed to be played, which involves lots of deep angles, and flanking, uh, and the whole game I'm gonna have Winston and Reaper jumping on me. I don't know. Like there's the one time where I went really deep and we kept the point because he was chasing me, but
yes, and that's what I want you to think about, because when you play versus the dive, you the threat of the dive is because you're too isolated, they can punish you. But use a soldier, you can use your mobility and your distance as the weapon. So if they keep chasing you, then this is gonna be adding more value. You just need to kind of live through this initial spike, and that's why we said, okay, I have to keep the distance. And the times where we didn't, and then we died. But you always have to read the spikes. Yeah, if they done something, Winston used the bubble, for example. Okay, I'm more free to stay where I am. But let's say he makes the next jump after with the ultimate. Okay, that's a big spike. Let's run away. Yeah, let's run away, dodge it, and after that we can go to the mode of shooting once they're done. And this is just kind of about that. It's possible to play. Yes, not easiest matchup, but yeah, something you're using your mobility and distance versus them mainly. Kind of keep forcing the mobility, which is pretty frequent. That's why it might be that you cannot just stick to one mode for a really long time. Yeah, you're kind of shooting, and then they go in. Okay, I run away, and then after that he's shooting. Okay, they jump in again. Okay, I run away. That's maybe a little bit annoying to play against too, but yeah, that's one example, like I said, where you deep flanking and they keep chasing you. That's what will happen most of the time versus the
is
dive.
should should I be thinking like Reaper can only teleport so far and Winston can only jump so far? Like playing even further, like the space between me and them. Should I be thinking bigger, or does that not entirely matter?
Well, I would say it's okay for you to play like one ability away from them, but you don't have to start as a have like really big distance versus them and you instantly, because your weapon is that you have mobility once they jump too, so you can
Yeah.
always use that as the distance after. Yeah, because I have mobility, I can create the distance. Where if I play Widow versus the Dive, yeah, 100%, you need to be like more than one ability away. That's what I would tell, for example, Ash or Widow. You cannot play too close when where they can dash you instantly, because it's gonna be so hard for you to stay alive. You have the grapple, maybe you have the coach gun as the Ash, but I cannot consistently be isolated on the angle, because it's coach gun is one way ability. I used it once and that's it. Grapple, that's it. I used it, but as soldier you can always run. So that's
Yeah.
your weapon in a way.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, that makes sense.
yeah, that's how I would put it. Oh well.
Yeah.
So
I feel like Winston usually isn't. Maybe it's just the Mercy Lucio feel. No, I'm not gonna blame my healers for it or anything, but I just mean like I can't just like stand on the edge of the bubble and expect Anna to help out, because like Winston's damage is so low that like
yeah,
standing there with any help at all feels fine. But when I'm totally alone, he'll kill me through the health pad, right? So I feel like there just needs to be like